Welcome to the first video in my Moodle Makeover series, where we take Moodle from clunky to clean without touching a line of code. In this episode, we'll build a sandbox that you can use to safely experiment, or you're welcome to use mine. Let's dive in. A few days after I posted my last video on improving Moodle's appearance, someone asked a great question. How do I safely experiment with Moodle without risking my real site or begging the admin? More to the point, how can I make Moodle courses look like high-end course platforms? You know, the ones we can't afford. That stopped me in my tracks, because it's exactly the reason I built my own safe Moodle sandbox. In the next few minutes, I'll show you step by step how I created a resettable sandbox site. I'm not a developer, and if you already have access to your Moodle production site, chances are your admin could help set this up too. But for those who don't, I have made my sandbox publicly available. You can experiment, break things, and learn safely. Why a sandbox? Here's the challenge. If you want to improve your LMS's appearance, change themes, enhance responsiveness, or even adjust layout, you'll need admin access. In other words, if you want to experiment, you need a sandbox. But on a live site, one wrong click can affect hundreds of learners. You might have a second non-production site, also often called a sandbox, where experiments are encouraged. Sometimes admin privileges are granted to staff who want to grow their understanding of the LMS. But even then, how do you ensure a clean slate now and then? That's where the sandbox shines. It's a separate Moodle installation, completely isolated from your real users, where you can explore, test, and build confidence. Best of all, with a bit of setup, it can reset itself every few hours, so nothing that breaks is permanent. You don't need coding or server management experience. I've documented the full process in a free mini Moodle course on my Moodle site, and you'll find the link below. Now, you don't even need to host your site on a public server. Moodle can also run locally on your own computer using tools like XAMPP or MAMP. It's a great way to experiment without touching your live environment. I'll admit, the first time I heard about running Moodle locally, I thought, wow, that sounds complicated. But then I reminded myself, if the local pet parlor can manage a hosted site, surely I can too. And sure enough, with the right guidance, it's entirely doable. But for the purposes of this video, I'll walk you through how I set up a Moodle sandbox that's accessible online. No local installs required. Step 1. I created a subdomain using my hosting account's cPanel. Most providers allow this in just a few clicks. Step 2. I installed Moodle on the subdomain using Softaculous, the one-click installer. No terminal, no coding, just a few simple web forms. If any of the settings feel unfamiliar, as they sometimes still do for me, don't worry. You can consult the documentation that comes with cPanel, or better yet, just copy and paste the text of the setting into a ChatGPT prompt. Tell Chat in plain English what you are trying to do and mention that you'd like some help understanding the setting. Don't hesitate to say that you are not a tech expert. Chat will adjust the explanation to suit your comfort level. Step 3. I removed the classic theme from my newly installed Moodle site. Why? Because I didn't want sandbox users to switch to it and accidentally breaking the look and feel of the site. The classic theme doesn't support some of the cascading style sheet presets that I rely on to keep the sandbox working properly. You can remove the theme through Moodle's plugins directory, but that's only half the job. You'll also need to manually delete the classic theme folder from your server's file system using cPanel or FTP. If you don't, Moodle may reinstall it during future updates or resets. Later in the setup, ChatGPT can help you take it a further step by disabling theme installation altogether. Useful if you don't want to lock the sandbox down in a curated, stable set of themes. The default Boost theme is more than enough for learning and experimentation. And here's a bonus. Any design changes you make, especially in the SCSS presets, are generally portable to other Boost-based themes as well. Step 4, I created a template course with sample content and enrolled a test user to simulate the learner experience. Step 5, I created a custom preset file for the Boost theme. This preset hides selected items in the admin menu to prevent Sandbox users from accidentally making changes that could break the site, at least until the next scheduled reset. I'll explain more later about how I use ChatGPT to help with tasks I can't do myself, and writing code is definitely not one of them. In this case, ChatGPT helped me create SCSS code for the preset file. I didn't need to speak code, I just described what I wanted the admin menu to look like, and Chat added the rest. Before we move on to step 6, if you're finding this video useful and like some of the on-screen effects I've created, I've got 2 courses on Udemy that come straight from my own experience as an online educator. I quickly learned that learners engage far better with content that looks good, feels interactive, and genuinely invites them in. That's why I work with tools like PowerPoint and H5P, not because they're flashy, but because they help keep learners interested and involved. The graphics that you see here is included in my PowerPoint course on Udemy. If you'd like to explore how these tools can support your own teaching, feel free to browse the courses. No pressure to enroll. And if you do, remember that Udemy's 30-day refund policy gives you time to explore without commitment. The links are in the description below. You're very welcome to take a look, even if it's just to pick up an idea or two. Step 6. I added a cron job that restores a backup every 2 hours, automatically resetting the sandbox. That way anyone can experiment freely and nothing breaks permanently. By the way, this is also not my invention. The actual wording of the cron job is also courtesy of ChatGPT. Now, this last step required a few sub-steps. First, I created a backup of the working sandbox using Softaculous. I extracted the backup archive into a known directory on my server. The backup consists of Moodle's core files, the content files, and a crucial file called softsql.sql, which holds the database. Together, these 3 components are your Moodle site. This is actually the key step in the process. I created a simple program, or to be more precise and more factually correct, ChatGPT wrote a simple program called a bash script to restore these files. This is how ChatGPT helped me. Not just for research and advice, but to actually build a sandbox. I described the goal and ChatGPT helped me write the bash script, offering suggestions for file structure and explaining how to trigger it regularly using cPanel's cron job tool. It wasn't instant. We had a few failed attempts, some troubleshooting, and a fair amount of trial and error. But together we got it working. In one case, a theme preset file that I mentioned earlier caused a styling error and crashed the site. ChatGPT walked me through what went wrong, explained how Moodle compiles SCSS, and even suggested safer default presets. It didn't just answer questions, it helped me think clearly, refine my understanding, and move forward with confidence. That's the real lesson here. We need to stop thinking of AI as just a toy or a fancy search engine, and definitely not as a threat. ChatGPT is a collaborator, a workhorse, a colleague who never sleeps. If you're learning to build with Moodle, or teaching others how to do so, learning how to work with ChatGPT, not just asking it things, is a game changer. It's a mindset shift. And to help you with that, I've included some of my actual prompts in the free mini Moodle course I mentioned earlier. You can try them, tweak them, and learn how to ask better questions. Here's a pro tip. Feel free to ask ChatGPT whether you are using it competently. It can even give you feedback on your prompting style, something I've done often and found useful. What the Sandbox offers. Let me give you a quick overview of what you'll find inside the Sandbox. A simplified admin menu giving you access to key administrative settings without overwhelming complexity. It's designed to let you safely explore and experiment with real admin tools. Theme styling options so you can test layout improvements and design enhancement. This video series is all about transforming the look and feel of your Moodle course. So if that's something that you're asking about, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll be sharing styling experiments in future videos that you can try out directly in the Sandbox. And if you've had your own frustrations trying to style courses in Moodle or any other learning platform, drop a comment below and I'd love to hear about your challenges. And your story might even shape what we explore in future episodes. The Sandbox also offers automatic resets, currently scheduled for every hour, but as things settle, I'll extend the reset to every 2 hours, giving you plenty of time to experiment. Either way, any mistakes you make will be wiped clean, so feel free to explore without fear. Login credentials for admin, teacher, and student accounts are listed on the homepage, and full access instructions are in the mini course link below. You might be thinking, but I'm not technical. I don't even know what CSS or SCSS stands for. That's exactly why this Sandbox exists. It gives you a space to learn by doing without fear. That's how real confidence is built. And if you've got access to your institution's hosting tools, your Moodle admin could set up something similar in just a morning. If I can do it without formal IT training, your team can too. Coming soon, a full course. I'm also building a full course called Make Your LMS Rise Above the Rest. And that pun is intended. It's for educators, instructional designers, and curious admins who want to transform Moodle or any LMS into a modern, learner-centered platform without spending a cent on expensive software. It's especially designed for those who don't write code but want to influence their platforms with confidence and clarity. The Sandbox will be central to that course because real learning happens through experimentation. If you'd like early access or want to know when the next video comes up, please subscribe, like, and join us in the mini Moodle course. Let's quickly recap. The Sandbox is the best way to experiment safely. I built mine using only cPanel tools and Moodle's built-in features. No coding needed. ChatGPT was on standby to help me with that. You can access my Sandbox today. Link is in the description. All the setup steps, tips, and prompts are included in the free mini Moodle course. We're not just using Moodle, we're reshaping it into something better, more beautiful, more effective, and more empowering. Let's make open source education rise above commercial limits. See you in the Sandbox.